Good morning. Hey, the chocolate bag. Good morning, love. Thanks for being here. Happy Monday. How you doing? Hey, King Roman. Happy Monday to you too, love. Thanks for being here. I see you got Mr. Tim coming to the show soon. That's gonna be a poppin' show. Thank you, Chocolate Bag. I really like this track. It's real nice and chill. Yes. All right, all right. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Shout out to the people in the chat. Shout out to the people who will be up on the replay. So I have a couple things I want to talk about today, and it's some of them have been on my heart. And like for the first topic, for example, the erasure of women. I wanted to talk about this for a while, but I really like to have responsible conversations as much as possible, and not to come off as transphobic or anything like that. So, I took some time to really reflect on it and do some research, because it's just a trend that I noticed with, instead of using the term woman, I've seen a lot of other things. So I want to talk about that today. And I also want to hear your thoughts in the comments, in the chat. I would love to hear your thoughts about what you think and how you feel. I also pulled up an article from eon.com that talks about trans inclusive language. And it just gave a different perspective. So I have a little blurb there that I want to read from that at some point. But I want to talk about that. I want to talk about Midnight Mass. Did y'all see Midnight Mass? Baby, it was crazy. That show was crazy. Okay. I don't want to do too many spoilers. So when we get to that part, I can understand if people want to dip out, because I personally hate spoilers. So I'm warning you now, if you listen to the replay, I will be getting into some things and it will have spoilers. So I'll try to do timestamps so you can jump past that part if you need to. But if you haven't seen it, check it out because it's really good. And then I also want to talk about R. Kelly and him planning to snitch on people. I'm going to break that down a little bit. I have to be honest, guys. I said this in my post. R. Kelly and anything related to that is very triggering for me. Very, very triggering. That's why I don't talk about his case. I'm just tired. So I'm gonna try my best to do that segment, but it may be cut short depending on different emotions that pop up for me. So let's get into the first topic. Okay. So I have been reading quite a few things here. Y'all know I read LSA a lot. I read a lot of different news sources. I just like to read. That's how I get my news. I'm not a news watcher. I really like to read it. because the news has a whole bunch of crazy shit. So it could be a little bit overwhelming. So in my title, I talked about the erasure of the word woman. And for me, it's just so upsetting when I read certain things and I see different words. I've been noticing a trend. The first time I noticed it was a post from AOC, Alexander Ocasio Cortez, which I really like AOC. But she was using, yes, I love reading King Roman. I just like, because then you get to draw your own conclusions. I feel like when you watch the news, it's like they're concluding things for you, and I just don't like that. I like to kind of draw my own things from what I read. And so I was reading, she had a post where she referred to women as menstruating people. And since then, I've seen other usage of alternate words instead of women, such as bodies with vaginas, birthing people. I already mentioned the menstruating people. This morning, I found one that said vulva owners, and just different things. And for me personally, I feel it's very dehumanizing. As a cisgender woman, and some women don't even like that term. They don't even like to use the word cisgender. But like I said, I want to be respectful and inclusive. I am not a transphobic person or homophobic person. I support the community. And so I want to make sure I'm having a discussion in a powerful but responsible way. But I also feel like there needs to be room for people to express how they feel. I think a lot of things are getting smudged out in efforts to have conversations and to have terms that are trans inclusive. So, this is what I want to talk about because I've been seeing it and it's been hitting me funny. And I'm like, hold up. And so there's a whole article in The Economist. I think it's www.economist.com. And they talk about this as well. So there's different angles. I'm going to be giving you resources that come from different angles. Some of them are very inclusive. Thank you so much, King Roman News, for sharing my video. I appreciate you, boo. And then another one is from Eon, who is more supportive of making sure that language is trans inclusive. So first, I want to open up with a poem by the beautiful queen, Miss Maya Angelou. I love this poem. Y'all probably already know what I'm about to read, but I want to read it because this poem has stuck with me since I was a teenage girl, and I just refer to it often. So I might not read the whole thing. We'll see. Phenomenal woman. Pretty woman wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model's size. But when I start to tell them, they think I'm telling lies. I say, it's the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride of my step, the curl of my lips. I'm a woman, phenomenal woman, that's me. I walk into a room just as cool as you please. And to a man, the fellows stand or fall down on their knees. They swarm around me, a hive of honeybees. I say, it's the fire in my eyes and the flash of my teeth, the swing in my waist and the joy in my feet. I'm a woman, phenomenal woman, that's me. Men themselves have wondered what they see in me. They try so much, but they can't touch my inner mystery. When I try to show them, they say they still can't see. I say, it's the arch of my back, the sun of my smile, the ride of my breasts, the grace of my style. I'm a woman, phenomenal woman, that's me. Now you understand just why my head's not bowed. I don't shout or jump about or have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, it ought to make you proud. I say, it's the click of my heels, the bend of my hair, the palm of my hand, the need of my care, because I'm a woman, phenomenal woman, that's me. I love that poem. Love that poem. And basically, I love all things Queen Maya Angelou, okay? I really miss her spirit. I remember when she passed away, and I was very sad. Very, very sad. The first thing I read by her was, which is a very intense and deep book, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. And that book really spoke to me. I think I read it in 6th grade, which I'm pretty sure probably I shouldn't have been reading it then, but I did. I used to be a bookworm, and now I'm a poser. I just got a bunch of books on my thing and I don't read as much, but other than like the news or internet articles. But I wanted to start with that because for me, being a woman, I'm proud to be a woman. Now it comes with its joys and its pain, but I'm proud to be a woman. And I think, I shout out to all the trans women, because I know that trans people in general go through a lot of things, right? We know that there's a lot of murders and a lot of violence that happens yearly that targets the trans community. So first, I want to acknowledge that. So, like I said, I'm all about trans rights. However, I have been very torn when I read things that dehumanize what I consider biological women or cisgendered women by reducing us to vulva owners and menstruating people. First of all, not all women are menstruators, even if they're of menstruating age. There's a lot of things that could go, awry, that you don't have a period. And it's not just if you are in menopause or anything like that, right? There's a lot of reasons for that. So in my research, I was trying to understand who are they targeting? Why are they using this what I consider to be dehumanizing language? We don't hear them going around referring to men as testicle owners, okay, or people with penises. We don't hear that. So why are they taking away the word woman? And also, when I think about the women as a group, we've gone through so much. We've had to fight for a lot of rights. There's a lot of people before us who've had to fight for us to do basic shit like vote, and now this word is getting erased because of, I don't know if it's political correctness. I don't know what it is, but I know that I didn't sign up for that. Good morning, Queen Diva. I didn't sign up for that. So I want to know why this smudging out, this erasure of the word woman is just kind of sneaking into different things, different articles, the way people write things. Sometimes it feels, I'm not gonna lie, it feels a bit clout chasing. It feels like what are the percentage of and the funny part is, one of the articles said it's actually not targeting trans women, it's actually for trans men, which makes a lot of sense. And I'm going to read that in a second. The Chocolate Bay said, I agree at Pressure Cooker, we have to marginalize communities that aren't protected. You're not wrong for how you feel. Thank you so much to Chocolate Bay. I really, really appreciate you saying that, especially as a man. Like, that means so much, because I feel like there has to be room for both, not just both, but, varying perspectives and thoughts and feelings, because to me, nobody asked me, nobody told me how I felt about being referred to as menstruating people or birthing people. Some women can't even give birth. Right? So it's foolish. It feels ridiculous. It feels like, unless you're addressing a specific group of people, let's say you're addressing a room of trans men, right? Then I can understand that. That makes sense to me, okay? Because biologically, they might still, they're still going to have a cervix. They're still going to have a uterus. There's going to be a lot of things that they're still going to have, even though physically they might present as a man, and also go by male pronouns, right? That makes sense to me. But for you to be addressing women at large and removing that word, it just really irks my soul. And I don't understand it. And it really pisses me off. So I'm going to read, let me see here. Let me pull up my little articles. I hope I didn't lose. So I'm going to read something from Eon, okay? Because this is something that actually helped me to, at first I was thinking it was more targeted to trans women, and then this helped me to understand it was targeted for trans men. Even though I'm a gay male, I still have privileges due to being a man. Facts, Chocolate Bay. And that's another powerful point, that at the end of the day, men are still the most powerful group. Okay, there's still a lot of things that men get, that men still get paid higher at a higher rate than women. There's still so many things. So, I'm not going to jump on that bandwagon of removing the word woman. Like, that's crazy to me. I think if people want to be, I think it's different for each individual. Let's say as an individual, you don't want to be referred to as a woman. You want to, and there's other words, like instead of breastfeeding, chest feeding. What else did I see? There was some other stuff that I saw. I can't find it, but chest feeding was one of the things that I saw. And I was like, I'm not like, if you want to use that term, that's fine. I'm not using those terms. I'm going to say breastfeeding because I have breasts. Okay. And I'm proud of my breasts. I'm proud of my double D's. Okay. So I don't understand. I just don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me, but I think individually people can use whatever terms they want. Just like when it comes to non-binary people, right? Different people. It's not just trans people who use different pronouns. there are people who they don't want to be referred to as any particular gender, right? Like I have clients, so I have a software that I use for my counseling business. I love it because it actually has a place where you can put pronouns, because I would be a liar if I say I could remember all the pronouns for every single client. I feel like I'm asking them constantly. So the software that I have, I actually, now I go through when I have a new client and I ask them what their pronouns are, and I put it into the software. And it'll say whatever it is, she, they, her, him, whatever it is. I put it in there so that I now can like have it somewhere and I don't have to worry about it. So let me read this comment before I continue. Hi, Reddy. Good morning, love. Hi, Pressure. Interesting and a lot to unpack over these folks are nuts trying to change everything. I'm a woman and will not be told otherwise. Facts, Reddy. I'm not going to be using any other terms. Like I don't want to be referred to as a menstruating person. I don't want to be referred to as a vulva owner. I don't. I'm just being honest. I'm a woman. And so I feel you. At King Roman, you said the chocolate bay is so true, gay or straight. Ain't nobody calling me cis male. Thank you, King Roman. That's not even an argument for us. Okay. Facts on facts on facts. And there's a lot of women, King Roman, who refuse to be called cisgender women. They don't even like that. So I feel you. It's just too much. Like, and again, I don't want to come off as, I'm attacking any groups, but that's too much for me. I don't want to be referred to as that. If you want to be referred to as something else, I will honor and respect your wishes. But what you're not going to do is tell me that I need to be referred to as XYZ, because I'm not. Okay. Created in sex male. No, I'm a whole male who is gay. King Roman said, I just smile and allow folks their own freedom to do them, but I'm fine with the most easiest form. Absolutely. And I really appreciate you guys really speaking out and sharing your thoughts and feelings, because it's like I said, it's been on my heart for a while, but I'm like, how do I talk about this in a respectful and inclusive way? Okay, so I'm going to read this blurb from this article. It's from eon.com. Okay, the name of the article is Why Trans-Inclusive Language is No Threat to Cis Women. Now, this is an alternate argument. So I just want to read this so we can also weave this in here. This is just one paragraph, so bear with me. Inclusive language around birth, lactation, and vaginas is not designed primarily for trans women who do not give birth, rarely lactate, and often do not have vaginas. Rather, it's designed for trans men and other transmasculine people who might give birth, lactate, and have vaginas, but who are not women. These groups have things in common. Both are ill-served by a discourse that conflates womanhood with vaginas, but trans people are a diverse group brought together by contingent cultural history and the necessities of political coalition. We are not identical copies with identical needs. Now, I'm going to first say, I really appreciate that article, because initially I was like, is this because of trans women? Is it like, because I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense, because if you're a trans woman, you're trying to identify with all things woman, right? So why would you want to be referred to as chest feeding instead of breastfeeding? Why? Like, especially nowadays, you can get surgeries, to have the parts that you want to have, the genitalia that you want to have to some degree. So I didn't understand that. So this article helped me to understand, well, actually it's referring to trans men, which, like I said, hopefully I'm saying this correctly. Trans men are, good morning, sis girl. Trans men are people who are born biologically women, but then change over to identify as a man, right? Whether they have a sex change or not, right? And so that helped me to understand, okay, so they're trying to target trans men. But once again, if trans men want to be referred to with those titles, I'm all for it, but I'm not a trans man. I'm not. I am a woman. So I don't understand. It's good morning, red vines and popcorn. I don't know. Does it infuriate anybody else? Nobody has polled us. Okay. Nobody has asked us how we feel and how we want to be referred to as. So why is it okay to be lumped in with something that dehumanizes and reduces us to genitalia and I don't even want to say medical terms. In some ways, yes, vulva owners, is very medical. Like, who walks around, oh, I'm a vulva owner. What? It's just, I don't understand. I just don't understand. I just think some things get carried away. If if it is my responsibility, which I believe it is, to remember people's pronouns, the correct pronouns, then it is also your responsibility as a trans person to refer to me as the way I want to be referred to, which is a woman. Okay. And, that's just really how I feel about it. I think it needs to be equal. I think it needs to be, if you're demanding that people refer to you a certain way, I'm also demanding that you don't refer to me as a vulva owner, because I'm more than my vulva. I'm more than a chest feeder or a breastfeeder. I'm more than all those things. Like, being a woman, just like being a man, is complicated. It's beautiful and it's complicated. And I don't appreciate, politicians and other people trying to pander, by trying to erase us. Women are still going through a lot of crazy shit. Still going through a lot of crazy shit. Okay. Once again, men are the most privileged, individuals in society. So why are you okay with erasing this word when we're still fighting for shit? Red Vines and Popcorn says, right. I shouldn't have to classify myself as anything but what God made me. Dang, what's so hard about that? I don't understand. And I'm calling out the double standard because, like I said a few moments ago, you can't demand for me to call you something while telling me this is how I need to identify. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. Good morning, Mia S. Thanks for being here. So that's how I feel about it. Let me see if there was any other notes. I thought I had another article that I wanted to share. Just a second, guys. Child, I had this pulled up. Let me see. I think this one was from the Irish Times, and I think in Ireland. So this was earlier this year, I think April. There was a woman who, I think legislation in Ireland was trying to. I don't want to misquote it, but it sounds like they were trying to say. Okay, I'm going to read what it says. Let me see if I could find this. Okay, Sir Conor McGuire, claims that inclusive language in the proposed period poverty bill, which is a bill in Ireland, is nothing more than a performative outrage by those who perceive inclusion as a threat to the structural order of advantage and privilege. So basically, a lot of women got upset that they were trying to remove the word woman. And, they were just basically trying to say, well, why are you upset about it? Why are you upset? It doesn't it's not going to affect you negatively, which I disagree with. I totally disagree with. Six Girl said, I'm a woman. There wasn't even a conversation had, an effort to erase your insecurities and internal inadequacies. Now, if women created their own pronouns, it would be an issue. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't understand. I really don't. And I will not allow anybody to refer to me as that. And if I get addressed as such, I will not be answering. Hello to everyone in the chat. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to you too, Red Vines and Popcorn. Any other thoughts about this topic? Like I said, it's been on my heart for a while. And like I said, I want to repeat that I am all for trans rights. Okay. This is not a place where I want people to feel like they can come and bash trans people. That's not what this is about. But I feel like this needs to be said. I feel like it needs to be discussed. Another touchy topic that I stay away from is I've read a lot of articles about trans women in sports and in prisons, and I believe people should be protected, like all genders. I believe that there are real trans women, and they need to be protected in jail. But I also think that there's a subset of men who try to identify as trans women just so they could predate upon women. That's really what I believe. And I think those are the people who ruin it for the people who are truly trans women, because then they're talking about, well, what do we do in prisons and things like that? Like, it's just, I don't know. It just becomes, we can't ignore blatant facts. The fact that a man typically has more lean muscle mass than a biological woman. So how, even though you are now a trans woman, how are you going to box in the same sport as me? Of course you're going to knock my ass out. Of course you're going to break my jaw. I feel like people don't want to talk about the facts, and it's facts. What do we do? Are there enough trans athletes to create a different subset of sports so that they can safely and effectively compete? I don't know. I don't know. Again, I'd love to hear your thoughts, but I know that if I had a daughter and she was going to be fighting somebody, depending on their weight and builds, I would be nervous. I would be scared, not because I hate trans people. That's ridiculous and it's not true, but because I think some people want to ignore the actual biological facts, the facts that, look, you're not built like me. Even if you get surgeries and shit, you're probably 9 times out of 10, you're going to be physically stronger than I am. Okay. It's just, have you ever, what I learned? I took a self-defense class years ago. And it's so funny how the movies and media could get your head fucked up. So in the self-defense class, the guy taught us, it was a guy leading the class, and he taught us like, you want to throw your elbow. Your elbow can really fuck somebody up, right? If you get an elbow to any part, it's gonna hurt. And he said, avoid direct punches to the face, especially if you're a woman. Like, that shit hurts. And he was like, do you know that if you punch somebody directly in their face, like dead on, you have a high chance of actually fracturing your wrists and your hand? And it's so crazy. Like, it made me think about a lot. Like, you're probably going to hurt yourself more than you hurt fighting off that attacker. Okay. And that's what we think about. The first thing we think about is like, oh, I'm gonna punch this person in the face. He was like, no, you got to fight dirty. If you have an attacker, you're going to elbow them or you're going to kick them in the nuts or whatever you need to do. Go for the throat. Okay, King Roman said, well, it's different because you're a man. So but like, that's when he said that, it blew my mind, because that's how you think of when you think of fighting. You think, I'm gonna punch somebody in their face, right? When really, depending on how that hit lands, you could be hurting yourself. Okay, you could be hurting yourself. You could break some bones, because that's all bone. Your face is all bone. Yo, sure, there's some muscle up in there, some cartilage, but if you hit somebody dead in the middle of their face, that's bones, right? So it's just, I'm just piecing all of this together to show you, like, yo, like, people sometimes want to ignore what I think, good morning, binge, are cold hard facts. Okay. Red Wines and Popcorn said, I would too. And it's just facts. Men tend to be stronger than women. People want to do all kinds of stuff and say all kinds of stuff, but it's like, yo, facts are facts. Exactly. I'm saying that too. Get them to fight, get them right in the face. You got to use your elbow, because you can really break some bones. You can really hurt yourself depending on the attacker. So, any other thoughts? I just wanted to share this. It just felt like it came from out of nowhere. Like I said, I wasn't polled. I wasn't asked how I wanted to be referred to. And I just think it's extremely disrespectful. I think it's disrespectful. I believe that people should have the right to be identified how they want to be identified, whether that's pronouns, gender, whatever. But you are not going to force things onto me about how, if that is true, then that means I can say, don't refer to me as a vulva owner. Don't refer to me as a chest feeder. Don't refer to me, as menstruating person, because I'm greater than that. Okay, I'm a woman. That's what I want to be referred to as, period. So that's what I have to say about that. Let's move on to the next topic. Well, let me read, let me see if I missed any comments. The Chocolate Bay said, do the biological women, LL, it feels weird saying that, feel that everyone is trying to be so inclusive that they might be left out. I do feel like that, Chocolate Bay. I do. And like, it's hard to say that because, again, I believe in, trans rights, and I want people to feel protected, and I want people to feel included. But you know what? I want you to feel included, but not at the risk of me being totally excluded. That's called self-preservation. Like, make it make sense. I'm not going to sit up here and lie and talk about something. Well, I'm okay with, you erasing the term woman so you can feel included. That's crazy. That is crazy. We're going to have to do better. Okay. Like I said, if they're addressing a group of people who, like I said, trans men, then that's a different story if you want to refer to people as menstruating people. But it just doesn't catch everything. It's not a catch-all. Like, I don't. To me, if I say the word woman, I'm not referring to trans men, because you no longer identify as a woman. So why would I be referring to trans men if I say, women? I'm talking about cisgendered women, or AKA biological women, and I'm talking about trans women. Okay, that's who I'm referring to. So why do we need to create further distinctions? Why do we need to strip something? And again, we're not going around referring to men as testicle owners, okay? Or, prostrate owners. We're not doing that. So like, and I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want men to be reduced to penis owners and prostrate owners, you know. That's dumb. Sticks Girl said, and if you do refer to me as a magical goddess, okay, that's an acceptable term too. I'm accepting magical goddess, Sticks Girl. I am a life giver. Use that pronoun. Don't use terms that diminish my power. Facts on facts on facts, Sticks Girl. I love that. Beautifully said. Beautifully said. If you want to be included, you don't have to strip and take away somebody else and the way they get referred to. It's just, I don't see how woman is a damaging term. I don't. If you don't identify as a woman, then it shouldn't matter. It should not matter. Okay. People, let me tell you, I feel like we're raising a generation of a lot of people who they get bent out of shape about everything. How are you gonna survive? Like, I don't understand. Everything hurts people's feelings. It's just crazy. And I don't believe in attacking people, you know, or being hateful. I'm not talking about that, but it's just like every single thing bugs people. And it's like, yo, like I don't understand. Get it together. You're not going to survive this world if you sitting up there getting bent out of shape because somebody referred to women who have for eons have been called women. If you don't feel like you're a part of that group, then it's not for you. Period. I don't understand. I don't get it. Anyway, I'm getting worked up. Let's move on. Oh man, you know, and then on top of that too, you know what's crazy? And I'm not talking about everybody here because there's a lot of powerful, awesome women in the trans women community. But you know, it's so crazy to me how people want to be referred to who I am and what I'm represented for, all while degrading and putting me down. I see a lot of hate from trans people towards, you know, cisgendered women. What about those people? Now, like I said, there's a lot of hate and violence towards trans especially trans women, okay? And they need to be protected. So I'm not saying that, but sometimes I see the way people refer and talk about women on here, and I'm like, you're trying to be a woman, but you sitting up here dogging us out. What is it? Do you want to be a woman or not? You know, or is it just more fun to put us down? Like, I don't understand that at all. And these are the things that I feel like we need to really talk about because, you know, if I'm sitting here rooting for you and advocating for you, and then, you know, the next minute, you know, you're just trying to degrade and put down, you know, cisgendered women, make it make sense. Make it make sense. The disrespect is real. Vine said, exactly, because I don't answer the Twizzlers. Vine, you wild. But anyway, let's move on to Midnight Mass. Oh wait, King Roman had a comment. It's weird because you never really hear of trans men and biological men fighting each other. Thank you, King Roman. It's a really weird dynamic. And that's what I'm saying. Everybody want to bang on women. Like, you know, it's just, I don't understand. I really don't. And I'm not here for it. I'm not. So, you know, I want to shift the discussion a bit. And, you know, I'm sure people watching the replay will have things to say. Like I said, please do not write hateful things in the comments about trans people. You can share your thoughts and views without being hateful and mad, nasty, and disrespectful. So far, everything that was said, I think was powerful and it was on point. Okay, we can share how we feel without degrading and putting somebody else down. Okay, so because we don't want it to be a cauldron of hate over here. That's not what we do here at the Pressure Cooker. But we do want it to be so that we can share our thoughts and feelings, how we feel, how we're affected by things. So put a 1 in the chat if you've watched Midnight Mass. Put a 2 in the chat if you're not done or if you haven't seen it. So, because like I said, I'm gonna be talking about some things. I just want to gauge the audience because I will probably have some spoilers, but I don't want to give too many spoilers if you haven't seen it. So I'll wait for you guys to drop that in the chat. Let me take a little sip of my ginger turmeric tea. Okay. So Chocolate Bay hasn't seen it or he's not done yet. All right. So you guys never saw it. All right. So I'm going to talk about it as carefully as possible because I don't like spoilers. So it's going to be hard, but let's talk about it. Nope, but I like a spoiler. Okay, Cameron would say, I don't care. Okay, Ref Mine said I plan to watch it this weekend. Child. I'm wondering if I should do a separate video so that people, it might be better to do a separate video about it. So that maybe I'll do that. That way, if you haven't seen it yet, it won't be ruined for you. And then if you want to watch it, then you're voluntarily, actively choosing to spoil it for yourself. So I might just do a separate video, and I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of a teaser. So Midnight Mass, I didn't know what it was going to be. And it was really crazy. So it's about this small little town. It's kind of like I want to say a coastal town. I value time over mystery. Let me know, friend. You know what? Okay, let me say this. If you like, it is a thriller. It is horror, but not in a sense maybe that some people might think of it. So it's definitely in that genre. It's about a small coastal town, and weird things start to happen. There's one priest on the island, and he something happened to him. So somebody replaced him. A younger priest came to town to fill his duty. So then, since that younger priest came to town, it's been miracles and crazy stuff going down. And let's see. Okay, so I do think that there could be some triggers. So if you have religious triggers, like people who are super fundamentalists, just be prepared, because there's a character. Her name is Bev Keane, and she really irked my soul. Let me tell you, that lady, she played the hell out of that role. Because every time she came on that damn screen, I just wanted to slap the taste out of her mouth. Like, shut the fuck up, Bev Keane. Like, it was crazy. So there's a little bit of that. There's a little bit of, it's good. It's very, very good. I would recommend it. It really challenges, whether you are a faith-based person or not, it really challenges you. It also exposes cult-like behavior. And it also kind of shows you how people can get wrapped up in cults. You know, I've talked about that here on my channel multiple times, about how easy it is for certain people to get wrapped up in cults. It's not just for people who aren't smart. It's not just for, people who anybody can get caught up depending on what is appealing to you, right? So in this show, that's what I felt. I felt like it was sucking people in a crazy way. And it's also crazy to see how people bend their rules, even if it doesn't align with maybe what is supposed to make sense. Let me say that. Yes, but it can be scary. I can't share certain words because that will give away the theme. I will say this. So this is something that irritated my husband. There's a lot of monologues, not in every episode, but I think you hit about like the fourth episode, and there's a lot of long monologues. I thought they were still okay, but it really frustrated him. So that's something to pay attention to. Pick up. There's good themes in there. Like, it was good. It's probably gonna trigger you though, depending on your background. I know it triggered the hell out of me. Okay. It also kind of addresses, I want to say, like, religious inclusivity. So just kind of like, sometimes, this is just my thoughts and views. Sometimes I think Christians could be a bit egocentric in terms of, it's just about me and my religion. And some of us, or some people, they don't understand that there's other religions out there, and you don't have to be practicing or agree with that religion, but that doesn't give you the right to disrespect and demean them. And so I think it covers that as well. It's good. It's a little bit for everybody. So that's all I'm going to say. And then I will do an upload about it so that I don't ruin it for people. And then I'm going to read some of these comments here. So King Roman, hopefully that's enough to give you enough of a clear picture into whether you want to see it or not. It is definitely a thriller. Okay. It definitely had me like, yo, what's going to happen next? Six Girl said, at King Roman, I learned the hard way in the comment section of a Flame Monroe video. I didn't realize there was an issue either, but trans women really had some wounds apparently. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. Like, I'll say this, again, even though I'm on a different topic. I know I like to keep it real, and I have not watched this person in probably a couple of years. So I don't know if they've changed. I don't know if they're different, but I remember when Natasha Malone came on the scene, and I thought it was really cool that she's a trans woman, and she just tries to be very feminine and different things. And seems to be part of who she is. But then, like, when she would start to read certain women, like biological women or cisgender women, it felt mad hateful. And it felt like, yo, like, you sitting up here talking about you're unclockable, but you're hating on all these women who aren't even attacking you. You're talking about them, as VS would say, under their clothes. You know, I just didn't understand that. I didn't understand why that was acceptable. You know, I didn't get it. And that turned me off, particularly from her, just from her. And so I just was done with her after that. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, yo, like, this is mad disrespectful. You can't be demanding respect all while shitting on us. Like, I can see if people are attacking you and disrespecting you, then you have the right to defend yourself. Good morning, Houston Bryant. Thanks for being here. I peeked into your other live while I was prepping for my live. So I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch yours because that topic was dope. Okay. You talked about the effect, you were talking about the effects of the pandemic. Powerful topic. So I encourage you guys to check it out after she always does excellent topics. But I was really irritated when I would hear her say certain things, and I'm like, yo, like, this is mad disrespectful. There's just certain things I'm not gonna put up with, okay? And I'm just not gonna allow you to disrespect me like that. And if I see you disrespecting other women, all while calling to be respected, that's not how it works, sweetie. Okay, why are you talking about women under their clothes? Don't you have anything else to say? It's crazy. Anyway, S6 girls. Oh, that sounds interesting, Pressure. I know I got caught up on Twitter defending women against Nikita Dragun. Ooh, who's that? Who's that? It wasn't. I'm watching. Yeah, very good live. So that is my midnight mass synopsis. I will do a video on it, so you guys could hear more details about what I think about that. I'll put that out today. Now let's get into R. Kelly. Guys, this always happens to me. I feel like my nose gets stuffy when I'm on live. Please pardon me. I'm just gonna go blow my nose real quick and I'll be right back, and we're gonna jump into this damn R. Kelly. Okay, I'm back. Thank you for your patience. Houston Bryce said, I think she's a famous trans YouTuber. Okay, I'm gonna check it out. Miss Venus said the problem is they want to be treated equally to women, and we are nowhere near the same. So, Miss Venus, I don't mind people wanting to be treated equally. My thing is that if that's what you want, then there needs to be respect on both sides. I said earlier in my live when I was addressing that topic that if you reserve the right to be referred to as whatever you want to be referred to, then I also reserve that right. Okay, I don't want to be referred to vulva owner. I don't want to be referred to as a menstruating person. I want to be referred to as a woman. And that's more, for trans men. But that's how I feel. I don't think I have to take away somebody's right to identify as something. But I just want that same right and respect. And there are plenty of trans women who, are awesome and who are respectful and encouraging of womanhood. And then there's other trans women who I've witnessed engaging in a lot of hateful behavior, period. And it's unacceptable. Red vibes and popcorn. Thank you, girl. I mean, vine's my bad. Okay. She said that trans are trendsetters for women, something along those lines. Sorry, it didn't use the right verbiage. Yeah, and see, this is another thing. To me, that's another example of erasure and smudging out. That's this exact same thing as when Kim Kardashian comes out here with fucking cornrows and then got the nerve to sit up there talking about some of his motherfucking Bo Derek braids. Nah, bitch, we've been doing cornrows for eons. Get the fuck out of here. Okay? Like, I can't. I'm not even gonna go there. Sticks Girl said, as a biological woman, we simply don't want our power diminished. That's it. That summarizes everything, point blank, period, Sticks Girl. It seems like trans men don't act this way towards men, but the trans women stay coming for women. Yeah, and actually, King Roman and Chocolate Bay referred to that earlier. that it seems to be mostly in the trans women community, that trans men is different. But the irony here, Miss Venus, is that I read an article from eon.com earlier, and it actually talks about that language that they're pushing, where they're kind of trying to erase the term women, is not really targeted towards trans women. Because if you think about it, trans women want to be identified as all things women, right? Or most things women. It's really for trans men because biologically, they still have female parts. And so that language they're trying to change that language to be inclusive towards trans men. My thing is, nobody ever asked me if that's what I wanted to be referred to as. Stiggs girl said, R. Kelly, I'm scared. Let's go. Woo, I'm getting there. I gotta get myself together because he irritates me. Just like gay men come for women versus lesbians, not disrespecting men. Just like, I gotta reread that back. Miss Venus, I have a theory for that. I'd love to hear your theory, Houston Bread. Miss Venus said, I respect everyone, but I do feel like there are no boundaries for the way women are treated. Yeah, and I don't think we should stand for that. Share your theory. Yes, I'd love to hear her theory. You're not wrong. King Roman said, can you imagine a trans man coming at a straight man? Exactly. The dominance theory kicks in there. King Roman, you're making too much sense, boo. You're making too much sense. Houston Bright said, Miss Venus, I think it's due to socialization. Women are socialized to be quiet and not to take up space. So lesbians and trans men aren't going to demand the space that trans women / gay men do. I'm just going to read that again. I think it's due to socialization. I can see that. I can see that being a piece, but I do think that what I observe as well, because not all women are raised to be quiet, right? Depending on your culture. But you're right, like at large, society tries to put that onto us. But I think this is what I think. This is specifically referring to the trans women who tend to be on the hateful side of things. First, I'd like to acknowledge that, and I've said this already, but I'm repeating it because I'm trying to have a responsible conversation. Trans women go through a lot, okay? There's a lot of violence, they're targeted. There's a lot of trauma there. So I'm going to start with that because, a lot of times it's more important to ask what happened to somebody instead of what's wrong with somebody, right? So I just want to start out by saying that. However, I think that whenever I see some of the hateful things being said, it's jealousy, okay? It's jealousy, you want to be a part of the group of women, but simultaneously, this is not all, but some tear us down. That doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. It's not acceptable. There's just a lot of disrespect, and I see it across the board. I mean, even saying, you do this, you started this trend, or you're more feminine than women. What? Like, there's so much that I can say about that. And it's just like, if you are secure in who you are, why do you even want to make that distinction? Why do you even have to say something like that? Right? To me, that just shows insecurity. That's what that means. Because if you're doing it and you're doing it well, you don't need to compare yourself. You don't need to create a distinction of, well, I do this better than you anyway. And then when we turn around and we say stuff, then people are going to get in their feelings. So you can't come and attack people and think that they're just going to stay quiet and not say stuff to you. I think it's ridiculous. Pressure, I just shared this Best of Beverly article, but you get the idea. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Ben said, trans women that are out, men confuse me. They're women, right? Yes, trans women are women. And so that's why I was saying with that article, it was actually saying a lot of those terms is to refer to trans men. Miss Venus said, I guess I just feel like trans women are more similar to gay men. It's a lot of misogyny. Trans men and lesbians are way more respectful towards women. Houston Beth said, I think it's about childhood socialization. Good point. Right there, as always, outliers. Interested in y'all thoughts. Yes, there's always outliers. Absolutely. Hey, Arnita, patriarchy's issue. Absolutely, Arnita. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. Miss Venus said they say those things, but yet can only pull DL men that don't claim them outside of the bedroom. So the comparison are null and void. Well, that's not true because, I think people are being more open-minded. And I think it's not always DL men. I think there's also a lot of issues with people not identifying that they're trans, right? Like, so that causes a lot of other issues as well. Six Girl said, I have a stud friend who feels she's often targeted by men, whether it's disgust or intimidation. I can totally see that. Totally. She often gets that. She's naturally muscular and has more masculine build to add to context. Absolutely, Six Girl. There is a lot of men who would target her. Absolutely. In fact, there's a lot of targeting on both sides, whether they present as a super feminine lesbian or a more masculine like lesbian, they're going to get different types of harassment, and it's messed up. Houston Brett said, Arnita Robbins, right? All groups see women as a whole as low hanging fruit. It's easier to punch down or across than up. We see it all the time. Facts on facts on facts, Houston Brett. Great combo pressure. Going back to the clouds. Okay, no worries. Chocolate Bay said, but men already have the upper hand due to patriarchy, so it may not be as much of a power struggle. Exactly. And really, it comes to, hopefully, I'm trying to see if I could draw this parallel. It's kind of like how, this is probably a poor example, but kind of like with white privilege. Most people who are white and that don't understand their privilege, that's part of the privilege. They don't have to be aware of how other people are marginalized and are affected, because that's inherently packaged into their privilege. Just like I talked about earlier, men are the most privileged person in society. There's a lot of things that we can unpack to prove that, right? And so likewise, a lot of those men don't even have to think about that. They don't even have to fight. It's not even a fight. Because again, as men, a lot of those things are built in for them. They don't have to fight for that. HB. So hopefully that made sense. Miss Venus said, I have stud friends as well, and men either try to sleep with them or are extremely jealous. That's interesting. See, I would think that they would be jealous and or trying to, attack or berate them. So yeah, it's like, I encourage you guys to hit the replay because I talked about this a lot in the beginning. It was, it's just, it brings up a lot of feelings for me. It really does. Because again, as somebody who supports the LGBT community, who supports the trans community, I really don't appreciate being erased and smudged out. I don't think that inclusivity means that I have to relinquish the term woman or that needs to be erased to include somebody else. I just don't believe that, and I'm not going. Six Girls said, I think if you view the person as competition for one desired sex, it could be an issue. That's what I see. That's a great point. The Chocolate Bay, I can understand both sides of the argument. Hell, should Rachel Dolezal be respected as a Black woman? So, okay, let me tell y'all this. Get your tomatoes ready. So here's what I said this years ago, but this is probably on my old channel. Even though I think Rachel Dolezal is a whole bamboozler out here, and really, if you think about it, she lied and she stole opportunities from other Black people. There's a whole bunch of things that's fucked up about what Rachel did. However, when it comes to her wanting to be identified as a Black woman, this is what I said, and I would love to hear your thoughts. Okay, Adrian Expression disagreed with me, and he actually ended up being right, because when Rachel Dolezal got exposed, she got exposed for a lot of stuff. Okay, but let me make my point here. At the time, I felt, well, if I believe that a trans person, if they feel like they were born into the wrong body and let's say they were born a woman but identify as being a man, if trans people could say that, why is it that Rachel Dolezal can't say she identifies as a Black woman? Okay, it doesn't mean she's born a Black woman, but that's my argument. That was my argument, is that even though I may feel some types of way about it, if that's how she wants to identify, hell, but then a lot of things come into play, because what benefits is this person getting? What ways are they stealing opportunities? And then King Roman said, hell no to the no. I do love Adrian too. He's great. So Adrian was like, hell no. And then he's been sounding the alarm since the Rachel Dolezal peeked her head out. And he was like, oh, hell no. And then he was able to prove that actually she had this position on the what is it, the NAACP board, and like she shouldn't even been there. So there's so many things, right? So many things that's wrong with that. So I don't know. I'm still left with I don't know. Let me see if I missed. Oh no, I read that one. I can't wait to get to that comment. Okay, yes. King Roman said at Chocolate Bay, see now why you bring professional vitiligo into the combo. King Roman, go to the corner. Yo, she was better off saying she was biracial versus black. I agree, Miss Venus. I agree. Yeah, Adrian's on point. He gives me so much life. King Roman said, now I would love to interview that lady. So today, are you black or And that's the thing. What are her motivations for saying that? What are her motivations? Right? It's just, I don't know. It's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. Six Girl said, well, I'm a little Chinese woman from now on, and y'all don't say ish to me. And that's the thing. You know what? You guys are bringing up powerful points. If a black person suddenly wanted to identify as white, I don't know why, not only would they get roasted and thrown out to the wolves, but you think white people gonna let them identify as white? Hell to the fucking nah. So this is the reason why a lot of people in the black community are like, no, we don't claim you, boo. You guys are making really good points. I'm Brazilian. There it is. We can't say we're white. You're absolutely right. And it's just facts on facts on facts. Y'all right. So again, but that is Rachel Dolezal is a white woman. So she's just operating out of her white privilege that says she can say and do whatever the hell she wants to, and who's gonna check her, boo. I really think the root of that is white privilege, personally, even though ironically she wants to be presented as black, but that's just my thoughts. Rita said, please have a live discussion about this. Okay, Rita, I will. Let me write that down because y'all know I'll be like, yeah, and then I forget. Miss Venus said, white women get passes that white women really got. Did you mean that black women really got? I do agree with you there. Nope, child, it would be riots and murders. Okay, King Roman News, tell the people. I was just using an example. If someone feels like they were born the incorrect gender, but would it be the same? And that's how I felt, Chocolate Bay. I tried to look at it from that angle because I was like, well, isn't this a very parallel argument to trans people? That's just how I feel. Nobody has refuted that yet. Isn't that technically the same thing? She feels like I don't remember. I listened to her video or her thoughts once and I don't remember. Okay. No, I get it, but hell no. Hell no. Y'all are funny. Okay, let's get into R. Kelly. Okay. Disclaimer. I really cannot stand R. Kelly. And I really get triggered. I said this earlier when I talk about him. This is why I don't cover it. In fact, I love the Plainest Jane. I love her channel. She puts out good content. But I actually had to take a break watching her content, even though her content is amazing, because I just get so triggered. I can't it's so crazy because I've heard horrific stories, like doing trauma work with people. You hear all kinds of stuff, right? But there's something about R. Kelly. I think it's because he's gotten away with a whole bunch of stuff. Let me get upstairs. I think it's because he's gotten away with so much stuff that and it's the same thing with Harvey Weinstein, right? We've been hearing about, for many of us, we've been hearing about R. Kelly since we were kids. We've been hearing about him peeing on people. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know. And then people come out the woodworks. I think it was Come Get This Commentary shared a post about some guy. I don't fucking know. And he was trying to justify, I don't even want to repeat it because it's just so triggering. But it's amazing the people who come out of the woodwork to defend this man and to defend people like him. And I hope y'all taking notes, because this isn't a case of, let me tell you something. Oh, absolutely. Put him under the jail with cement. Okay. It's interesting to me because whenever I see people do this, it really makes me call into question. I can understand if it is a shaky case and we really don't know what happened, right? And then people are taking up for the person. I can understand that. I'm not going to judge somebody, but R. Kelly is a seasoned predator. We've been hearing about his ass for years. Years. There are scores of crimes that he has committed. Oh yeah, Bill Cosby too. And you know what's funny? Bill Cosby actually hurts my heart more because a lot of us grew up watching Bill Cosby. That didn't stop me from saying like, nah, homie, you did wrong. I think you did this. There could be people that's lying on you, but this is ironic. Okay, he even admitted himself to putting drugs in these women's drinks. So people like to ignore the facts. People like to ignore the facts. Yeah, he was also protected. Bill can't see and probably can't hear. He's just doing what the money tells him at this point. Okay. And it's just, I don't understand. I get it. I get it. We get disappointed. People who we like, whether it's no matter what they do, we get disappointed and it's hard to believe. But R. Kelly has done so many things. So many things, guys. Like you have to be basically burying your head in the sand to say, well, nah, this didn't happen, and he still got people, I'm sure, who are thirsting for him. King Rom, oh, sorry, I read that. Six Girl said, child deserves to be under the jail. Next case, absolutely. It's just not debatable to me. And I was thinking back because I like to do a lot of self-reflection before we get into this new thing where he said he gonna snitch on people. I was thinking back and I was like, yo, ever since the R. Kelly news came out, I've been hella triggered. Like I've always been triggered by a lot of things that people say on here, but I'm like, I just noticed I didn't have patience for it before, but now it's no. That's the reason why I went to fucking on Ken. Okay. And a lot of people, it's so funny to me. It's the same behavior, how people make excuses for people. People are like, oh, well, Lee Q and Terry P wish death on his family. That's fucked up. That's dead ass wrong. Dead ass wrong. Okay. He could have just did the same thing back to them. Where do you come out saying that somebody's child should be sexually assaulted? Why is that even a thought in your mind? Like people try their best to bring up false equivalences. And I'm like, that is not the same thing. It's fucked up, but it's not the same thing. It's just, I don't understand how people could sit there and make excuses for stuff. But anyway, motherfucking R. Kelly. So R. Kelly now, apparently, I don't even know if this is true because I tried to look up multiple sources. A lot of people are reporting about, I don't know if it's true. They said that he is threatening to expose other pedos and other predators in the industry. I think one of them is a rapper and the other one's a singer. Okay, all of this is alleged. Now, first of all, we would be dumb as hell if we think he's the only predator around there to the industry. Okay. The more I pay attention and listen to stuff, the more I realize what a demonic pedophilic industry the music and the movie industry is, period. If you look at a lot of these child stars, okay, you just can tell that these people have been through it. That was not a safe place for them. If you're paying attention, you're going to hear different things. There's whole rings of things, just like human trafficking. Do you know why human trafficking is so hard to stop? Other than the fact that there's a lot of depraved and horrible people on this earth, but there's rings of it. It's not just one individual saying, "Oh, I'm gonna open up this human slave shop, and I'm a traffic people here and there." No, they work in networks, just like the pedos. Why do you think the FBI takes so long to pop people? Because they can't just go for one person when they can save the lives of many other kids. Because a lot of times they work in rings and they protect each other. Hey, Rob, good morning, love. They work in rings and they protect each other. I have no doubt that Hollywood and the music industry is the same. Okay. Now, obviously R. Kelly doesn't give a shit. He's only saying this because he wants less time. I heard he's facing up to 100 years. I don't know if this is just for the recent case where he was recently convicted for these charges and is racketeering and a whole bunch of stuff. But because he got another case coming, y'all, in Chicago, he got another one coming. So I don't know if it's just for that, but he's facing up to 100 years. So people are like, should he get less jail time for exposing pedos? He don't deserve no less jail time. But I say, yeah, give him less jail time. If he's facing 100 years, as long as he doesn't get any less jail time than 50 years, then I say, go ahead. If it exposes other predators, go ahead, because your ass ain't going to see the light of day anymore, R. Kelly. Okay? As long as you get at least 50 plus years, go ahead and knock off 40 years off his sentence. Okay? Because your ass is not going to get out of jail. Okay? You shouldn't get out of jail. You're a danger and a terror to society. And I'm sure I've read things that he was providing young, well, I'm never just going to say young girls, because we know he's just a damn predator across the board, probably young boys too, to other people. Look at Jeffrey Epstein. We know this whole video be demonetized. That's okay, because they don't like they don't like certain names. Jeffrey Epstein, okay? You think that man didn't kill himself? They killed him, because we might even hear R. Kelly get killed, quote unquote killed. Okay? Because they don't want the stuff to come out. Okay? I have no doubts that there's plenty of other people. It's not just one rapper and one singer. There's scores of people doing these things, guys. I guarantee it. There are scores of people doing these things in this industry. Let me stop and read some comments. Ross said he's facing life and beyond. Good. He will face charges in Chicago, California, and Connecticut. Damn, I didn't know it was, I thought it was just Chicago, Raw. Come through with the receipts, sis. The enterprise portion was crazy. Wait, could you tell me about that? I don't know what you're talking about, Raw, with the enterprise portion. He's not dead. He's on Pedo Island. I heard that too, Raw. I heard that was just a ruse to they said it was a what is it, a double? Listen, I don't put nothing past these people. These people got so much money, they can make any of that stuff work, and they protect each other. I'm telling you, these people protect each other. Okay, so fuck R. Kelly. I really, I do want other people to be saved, but it's just, watch my video from this morning. Okay, you talked about it. I looked at the whole indictment. Okay, I will. I'll check it out. Check out Raw's video. She breaks down it sounds like the other things that he's facing. R. Kelly is a trash bucket. And, it's amazing to me that people will rather say, oh, them girls are fast. Them girls are this, them girls are that. Yes, there are grown women who decided that they wanted to be, under his thumb. Sure, there's people who sign up for it, but did they really know what they were signing up for? Do you think they probably were focused on money and things? Okay. Did they think that they would be, I don't even want to repeat some of the awful things. Do you really think that they knew that? I don't think so. Okay. And then there's women who he's used and abused for years, and then they become the abusers too. And really, again, this happens with human trafficking, that there's women who let's say they get abducted, or they get, whatever, tricked into human trafficking. They age out and they become madams. Okay. They're pumping drugs into people. Hey, humbly melanated, thanks for being here, love. They're pumping drugs into people. They're doing all kinds of shit to these other young girls. But by then, they would have been in the system for years and years and years. That's all you know. That's all you know. So as much as they've become heinous and disgusting, my heart goes out to them too, because I'm sure that's not the path that they wanted. And do you know it's hard? Like, sometimes they get people addicted to drugs on purpose so they can't leave. So that if you run away and next thing you know, you're coming down, depending on whatever drug it is, and you feel like you're going to lose your fucking mind, guess where you're going to end right back up at? To them same people. Okay. So people don't understand. It's complicated. People love to target the victims. They love to say that girl fast and she always got her ass out. And you don't know what that person has been through. You don't know what their childhood was like. You have no idea. People love to blame things on the victim instead of putting the focus on the predator. Okay? Just like when people try to come on here talking about Terry P didn't even know he said that. Just making excuses for stuff, for deplorable things. I don't want to deal with none of those people. I don't. Okay? And I'm never going to apologize for it. I don't feel no ways regret, none of that. Okay? I will never understand how some people make excuses for certain things. I could never understand it, and I never will. And you know what? You're never going to be able to change my mind, boo. You're ever going to be able to come over here and tell me, well, this, that, the third, and they said this, and nope. You're just making excuses. You're just making excuses for the predator. So let's read some of these comments. Exactly, they're children. Children can't consent to sex. Any of these, I don't even. Because I'm gonna end up saying some really bad things. Any of these people out here, just like the people that I think come get this commentary shared a post by Tanya TKO. Just check out her community wall, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Because like I said, it's just really disturbing. It just makes my head hurt and my stomach turn. There's a lot of sick people out here, guys, that will make excuses and come up with loopholes. Some of these people also claim to be Christians. Okay. Y'all better watch. Y'all better watch and pay attention to who your kids are around. All right. Because there's a lot of sick people out here. No, they didn't know they were minors. Okay. Stop saying that kids are fast. They can't consent to any of that. Just like the people who don't understand sexual abuse, saying crazy stuff to people. It is sad, King Roman. There are fast girls, yes, and there are. However, the responsibility is on the adult. I don't think mentally R. Kelly is, but age-wise is. Yeah, that is true. That is a very good point. Okay, and it is. A lot of these parents are complicit. Just like Aaliyah's parents sat up there and act like they didn't know what was going on. Okay. That lady knew damn well, because I'm pretty sure you have to give consent when your child is a minor to marry somebody, which is still gross. I don't even want to think about that. But they're trash. Any of those parents who wanted to trade their kid in for money and fame, they're trash. Ridiculous. Six Girl said, I wouldn't be surprised if they go the psychological route next, playing on his childhood trauma. Listen, Six Girl, they can try it all they want to. Just because that happens doesn't give you, any leeway for you to be able to do that. That's ridiculous. And I'm not saying you're saying that, Six Girl. They're going to try everything, sis. They will. They're going to try everything. And the research is going to show there's plenty of people statistically who've been abused and they don't turn out to be predators. Okay. It's a very, very small percentage. So fuck you, R. Kelly. And I can't. I am so sick and tired of people making excuses for R. Kelly, for other people. The list goes on and on and on. And I think just my like I said a few moments ago, my patience is worn thin. And I think this R. Kelly shit triggered me. Because it's like, when I see how many people make excuses for stuff, and then I see it's not the same thing happening on here per se, but just some of the things people are willing to say that's predatory in nature, and people make excuses for them. I'm not going to let you forget. Okay? I'm not going to let your ass forget. I don't understand how anybody could be entertained by that. There's just certain things that people do. It's no looking back. Especially when you've repeatedly said something. Because like I said before, we all said things when we're angry. But there's just certain things I would never think of when I'm angry. I would never think to wish any type of sexual trauma on anyone. Especially kids. Because I'm angry. Where did they do that at? People they're taking away from the topic. People love to deflect and talk about, this white lady this white lady that. It's just crazy to me. I don't understand. Like, can somebody help me understand what is going through these people's minds that make them want to defend people like that? I don't get it. And you know what's crazy, guys? Statistically, and I think I said this in my R. Kelly post, a lot of sexual predators will never admit to what they did, even when the mountain of evidence is against them. They don't. I don't know what it is. It's something about them. They do not admit to it. Do you know how many clients, and a lot of people may not know this because, they just may not realize. They may think, oh, it's just me. It's just the person that did this to me. They're just extra evil. A lot of them will never admit to what they did. You know how many clients I've seen, kids, adults, who their perpetrator, I mean, I would say 1%, maybe 2% who will say, oh, yeah, they apologize or they acknowledge what they did when I was a child. It never happens. It's very rare. It very rarely happens. And do you know what that does? That actually, it's just more gaslighting. It just solidifies you're crazy and you made it up, which obviously isn't true, right? Those people are skilled at mind fucking people. That's what they do. The grooming, all of that stuff. They got a whole playbook. So just imagine a seasoned person like R. Kelly. This is the reason why R. Kelly could interview with what's her face? Was it Robin? I mean, I don't even remember. But he interviewed with that lady. You should have seen the lady face. She was just looking at him like, bitch, please. He was sitting up there, y'all killing me with this shit. All the theatrics. And he was waving his hand around and he was all of that shit. He's so used to getting away with it. That is the desperate cry of somebody who's used to getting away with shit, who's used to paying their way out of shit, who's used to being rescued by their rich buddies and connections. And then those rich buddies and connections, then they can no longer help him. And now he's facing over 100 years in jail. I hope they give him every single one of those damn 100 years. And he'll probably get more because according to Raw, he got other cases coming up in other states. So he finna get like 300 years, I hope. Because depending on the judge that you get, sometimes they will charge you for each. If they can prove how many times you did something to somebody, they will multiply that shit by the penalty. It depends on the judge. It's not always like a lump thing where, okay, you did this is how many years you get. They're gonna be like, we can prove you did this at least 20 times to this person. So we're gonna multiply that. Child, listen. Anyway, any other thoughts on R. Kelly? I just have very little patience for predators. I just don't. I told y'all before, I don't even work with predators in my job. I would refer their asses out if they come see me. I'm not the one you need to come see because I'm not going to do my job well for you. I'm going to refer you to somebody that specializes in rehabilitating predators. That's not my forte. Okay. And I just can't. I can't. It's just crazy. And most of them never take responsibility for their crimes. So anyway, that's all I got to say about these topics. I don't know if you guys have any other questions or thoughts, but I really appreciate you all being here with me. This was a very, very good discussion. We talked about a lot of things, guys. We talked about a lot of things. But yeah, I love y'all. Happy Monday. Okay, I'm going to put out the midnight. I'm going to record it right after this because I'll just forget and go about my day. I'm going to put out the midnight mass video. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for joining me. Let me play some music. Let's see. Ciao. Have a good day, y'all. Thanks for being here. I think the chat is acting up. I can't see. Oops. Sorry, y'all. I messed up the music. Yeah, the chat froze, guys. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can catch it from here. My bad. It froze at like Sticks Girl's last comment. They do identify with abusers, Raw. You're right. Gail King, yes. Thanks, Sticks Girl. Benj says some offenders will accuse their victims of enjoying the abuse. Yes, Benj. Yes, they do. Ooh, that just makes my blood boil. Humbly Melanated said, I have compassion for adults who were abused as children, but never can I co sign them becoming an abuser to children also. It's always going to be heinous, in my opinion. Absolutely, Humbly Melanated. Powerful points. They abuse kids, that's why they're supporting him. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thank you, Miss Venus. Thank you, Sticks Girl. Thanks, Benj. Thank you, Humbly Melanated. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, my chat is stuck, guys. StreamYard did me dirty. I knew it was weird because I was like, that's weird. Nobody else is writing comments. And there's like at least 18 people in here. So it was weird. I'm glad I checked it. Chocolate Bay. Happy Monday, y'all. Bye.